Some actors disappear, others return changed. Military service doesn't pause a career, it reshapes it. In 2026, some of Korea's most anticipated actors are coming back, not to repeat who they were, but to confront who they've become. The softness is gone, the certainty is gone. What remains is depth, restraint, and performances built on silence, scars, and survival. This isn't a comeback list, it's a before and after moment. Let's begin. Chang Wook, the action king reborn with a darker soul. Chang Wook didn't leave quietly, he left as a king. Before enlistment, he was the face of action K-dramas. A man who could fight, bleed, love, and break hearts all in the same frame. Healer, the K2, fabricated city. Each role cemented him as an actor whose physicality carried emotion, whose silence could be louder than dialogue. Then came the military. For many actors, enlistment is a pause. For Chang Wook, it became a reset. Those close to him say the years away stripped something away. Not his charisma, but his softness. In its place grew restraint, control, a heavier stillness, the kind that doesn't rush to prove itself. In 2026, Chang Wook returns with a psychological action thriller that leans far darker than anything he's done before. This isn't a hero who saves the day. This is a man trapped inside systems of manipulation, power games, and moral decay, where every punch has consequences, and every choice leaves a scar. His eyes tell the story now, less fire, more depth. Industry insiders describe the role as quietly terrifying, an action performance built not on speed, but on tension, on knowing exactly when not to move. This comeback isn't about reclaiming his title. It's about redefining it. Chang Wook isn't returning as the action king you remember. He's returning as something more dangerous. An actor who understands the cost of violence and carries it with him. Kang Tae Oh, from gentle heartthrob to a man who knows pain. Kang Tae Oh left at the most painful moment possible. Right after extraordinary attorney Woo turned him into a global sensation, adored for his warmth, his kindness, his almost unreal gentleness, he stepped away to fulfill his military duty. The world paused its obsession. The screens went quiet. But behind that quiet, something was changing. Friends and colleagues say Kang Tae Oh used his enlistment years to observe, to reflect, to grow into himself. Away from cameras and praise, he studied people. Emotions, silence. He trained his body, but more importantly, he trained his patience. When he returns in 2026, the role shocks everyone. Gone is the comforting smile, gone is the perfect boyfriend image. His comeback drama is a psychological romance thriller, where he plays a man consumed by grief and obsession, someone who loves deeply but destructively. The kind of character who doesn't raise his voice, yet makes every room uneasy. Producers say the role requires emotional honesty to the point of discomfort, and Kang Tae Oh delivers it with restraint, never begging for sympathy, never explaining himself. A boy returning as a man, one insider said, someone who has learned what it means to endure. This comeback isn't loud. It's intimate, and that's exactly why it will stay with audiences. Kang Tae Oh doesn't ask to be seen anymore. He simply stands there, and you look. Nam Joo Huynk, the soft star reforged into something dangerous. Nam Joo Huynk has always been defined by softness. From weightlifting fairy Kim Bok-joo to startup, he embodied youth, vulnerability, and dreams that felt fragile enough to break. Then 25-21 arrived, and suddenly that softness carried heartbreak, regret, and loss. The world saw him differently. Then he enlisted, and when he returns in 2026, he returns changed. Nam Joo Hyuk's comeback project is rumored to be a noir-style action revenge drama, a stark contrast to his earlier roles. He plays a man hardened by betrayal, living in moral gray zones, where survival demands brutality. During his service, he trained relentlessly. Martial arts, combat movement, physical endurance. But the biggest change isn't in his body, it's in his presence. Those who've seen early footage describe him as unrecognizable. Still quiet, still restrained, but now carrying weight. His gaze no longer searches for hope, it measures consequences. This is Nam Joo Hyuk stepping into adulthood as an actor, willing to be unlikable, willing to be broken, willing to be dangerous. His comeback doesn't erase the boy audiences loved, it builds on him. And in 2026, Nam Joo Hyuk isn't returning to romance your heart, he's returning to challenge it. Song Kang, the youth icon, forced to grow up in silence. Song Kang didn't just rise fast, he exploded. From Love Alarm to Sweet Home to Nevertheless, he became the face of a generation, youthful, emotional, magnetic. Viewers watched him fall in love, fall apart, and fall again. And just when it felt like he was ready to transition into deeper, heavier roles, he enlisted. For many, military service freezes momentum. For Song Kang, it became a necessary rupture. During his absence, something shifted in how people talked about him. No longer just a pretty face or Netflix star, but an actor fans were curious about. What will he become next? 2026 brings the answer. His comeback drama is a dark fantasy human thriller, where he plays a man cursed with visions of death, not as spectacle, but as burden. Every person he meets carries an ending only he can see, and every choice he makes costs him a piece of himself. This role demands emotional exposure without comfort, no romantic safety nets, no heroic certainty. Producers say Song Kang surprised them most with restraint, choosing silence over breakdowns, subtlety over dramatics. His performance is described as pain held in check. This is not Song Kang trying to be mature. This is Song Kang forced to be. And in 2026, audiences may realize something important. The boy they loved is gone. In his place stands an actor ready to stay. Hwang Min Huyn, the idol who returns as a leader, not a symbol. Hwang Min Huyn has never demanded attention. He earned it, quietly. From his idol beginnings to his breakout acting role in Alchemy of Souls, he built a reputation for discipline, control, and emotional precision. He was never the loudest presence in a scene, but he was often the most stable. Then came the military. And when Min Huyn returns in 2026, stability is no longer enough. In Study Group Season 2, his character Yoon Min undergoes a transformation that mirrors Min Hyun's own journey. No longer just a student trying to survive violence, Min becomes a symbol of resistance, leadership, and responsibility. The fights are harsher, the choices heavier, and the cost of standing up far more dangerous. Behind the scenes, staff say Min Hyun returned physically stronger, emotionally sharper, and more assertive in his acting. His presence commands attention now, not because he raises his voice, but because others stop talking when he enters a scene. This comeback isn't about breaking free from idol roots. It's about surpassing them. Hwang Min Huyn doesn't return asking to be taken seriously. He returns already standing at the front. Lee Do Huyn, the actor who learned to carry pain quietly. Lee Do Huyn has always excelled at one thing: pain. Whether in 18 Again, Youth of May, or The Glory, his performances carried vulnerability, grief, and emotional scars that felt real, never theatrical. He was the kind of actor whose eyes told stories even when his mouth stayed closed. Then he enlisted, right as his career reached critical acclaim. For a while, the industry felt his absence. In 2026, Lee Do Huyn returns with a melancholic mystery drama centered on memory, loss, and unresolved guilt. He plays a man tied to a past tragedy that refuses to stay buried, a role that relies entirely on emotional truth. Those who worked with him describe a noticeable change. Less hesitation, more stillness, a deeper trust in silence. Military service didn't harden him, it grounded him. This comeback isn't flashy, it doesn't beg for attention, but Lee Do Hyun has never needed to shout. He returns as an actor who understands that sometimes the most devastating performances are the quietest ones. Rowoon, the gentle giant, returning as a man who can break hearts and bones. Rowoon was never just visuals, but for a long time, that's all people talked about. From Extraordinary You to The King's Affection and Destined With You, he built a reputation as the tall, warm-hearted romantic lead, soft eyes, deep voice, comforting presence. He was safe, familiar, beloved. Then he enlisted, and something quietly changed. Rowoon returns in 2026 with a historical action melodrama that strips away his softness and replaces it with moral conflict. He plays a warrior scholar torn between loyalty and conscience, a man whose strength becomes both weapon and curse. This is not a role that relies on charm, it relies on endurance, sword training, long takes, emotional restraint under physical exhaustion. Directors say Rowoon surprised them with discipline, fewer words, sharper movement, and a darker stillness that wasn't there before. His presence feels heavier now, like someone who understands consequence. Rowoon's comeback isn't about proving he can act. It's about proving he can carry weight. And in 2026, audiences may finally stop seeing the gentle giant and start seeing the man. Kim Yo-han, the athlete turned actor, ready to redefine himself. Kim Yo Han's career has been about proving people wrong. Former athlete, idol trainee, then actor. When he first appeared in dramas, expectations were low. But role by role, especially in School 2021, he showed sincerity, effort, and emotional growth that couldn't be ignored. Military service came early in his acting journey. Too early, some thought. But in 2026, Kim Yo Han returns with a youth action drama centered on identity, pressure, and redemption. He plays a young man trying to escape the shadow of his past, not through violence, but through responsibility. His performance is raw, unpolished in the best way, honest. Directors describe him as hungry, eager to learn, eager to improve, eager to prove that he belongs. This comeback isn't about instant dominance, it's about foundation. Kim Yo Han doesn't return as a finished actor. He returns as one worth watching. Seo Kang-joon, the silent favorite, returning with emotional precision. Seo Kang-joon has always been an industry favorite, not flashy, not controversial, but deeply trusted. From Cheese in the Trap to Are You Human Too and When the Weather is Fine, he mastered quiet emotion. His acting never demanded attention, it invited you closer. Then he disappeared. Military service took him away during a time when fans felt he was just about to explode again. His 2026 return is a melancholic romance thriller, where he plays a man living under a false identity, hiding not from enemies, but from himself. The drama doesn't rely on twists, it relies on atmosphere, long silences, unspoken regrets, eyes that carry entire conversations. Crew members say Seo Kang-joon returned with a calmer energy, more confident in doing less. He trusts the camera now, trusts that stillness can speak louder than dialogue. This comeback won't trend loudly, it will linger, and that has always been Seo Kang-joon's power.